I'm going to show you how to make a bone box. Yeah, you heard me right. I said bone box. A box that is controlled by smart bones, obviously, to look 3D using only one vector layer. I'm alive, and I hold on to you. Well, hello, my name is Mark David Stallard and welcome to I'm Alive Animation. Today I'm going to show you how to create a 3D box using one vector layer, one smart bone, like this. Well, that was a clip from part 2 of No Rock Unturned, an animated serial I'm working on. Part 1 is already out. You know where the links are. Anyway, stop your babbling. Let's just get on with it. Okay, so here we are. We're in MOHO. I've got a single group with one vector inside of that group, appropriately named. You can name it whatever you like, of course. I'm now going to create all 6 sides of a cube, and I'm just going to go up here to the shape creation. The draw shape tool, I have to look. I use them, but I never know what to really call them until the tooltips come up. And I'm just going to select the rectangle tool here. I'm going to hold down shift, and that will give me a nice perfect square. So I'm going to put that in there. Just going to move that into the middle, just so it's nice and easy to see. That is going to be the back of the box. You'll notice that when I created the shape, I turned off the autofill auto stroke. That's purely so you guys can see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, so it's kind of easy. It'll be easy to see all the lines all in one go. But when you're doing this, you can create the shape, you can do the autofill, auto stroke if you like. Okay, I'm going to now, so that's going to be the back of the cube. I'm now going to do the very front of the cube, and I'm going to do it a little bit smaller just so I can see what's going on. Then I'm going to take the draw points tool, add point tool. I'm going to have sharp corners on just to make it easier for animating. I'm going to join each of these corners up. Oop, so that's not a corner, is it? There we go. Turn my speaker off. There we are. 1, 2. And now we've got a cube. Yes, it is a cube. Now the reason I did it like this so it's easy to look at. When I first attempted this, I got lost quite a few times when I'm trying to animate it. So this is a cube. So when we start animating it, we've got the sides and we've got the shapes filled in. We can actually arrange the cube something like this. And I'll give you an idea of that's the cube, right? That's how a cube would look. All right, so I'm just going to undo those, get back to where I was. Now I'm just going to fill in these shapes. I'm going to start at the back shape, and I'm going to give the fill and make it white just so we can see what we're doing. Create the shape. And I'm going to I will leave the lines on just so you can see what's going on, because in my original version I didn't have any lines on, but it's really just a matter of once. It's just to turn them on and off up here. I mean, highlight the shape, turn off the strokes. I'll leave those on, that way you can see what I'm doing and how I'm animating it. Now next I'm going to do is just start creating these shapes. So I'm going to click create shape, and I'm going to give it a different color, and I'm going to give them all notably different colors, just so that you can tell the difference between them. If I was doing this for myself for a go live project, then I would make these the color of a box. I might make them different shades of brown, but I think this will probably make it stand out a bit. So it might give you a bit of a headache, but you can kind of get an idea of where the shapes are. So I started off with the back. I've now done the sides, and now I'm just going to do the front of the box. Okay, and I'm going to create that shape, and I'm just going to give it a color I haven't used yet. So do apologize for the colors, but I think that helps it to stand out a lot better. So you can kind of get an idea of what the cube looks like. So if I'm going to do this, and we'll do what we did before just so you can see what it looks like. We've got a cube. We've got one shape. Okay, so now you can see the cube. It does look like a hollow square tube there, like a hollow box. But to get rid of that, we just highlight whichever one is the top there, which I think is that one there. We can hold down shift, hit the up arrow, hold down shift, hit the down arrow, we'll push it right to the back. You can see the back of the box is white. And I'm going to bring that up, so we now have a cube. So I'm going to leave that like that for now. Now we've created the cube. I am just going to position this in a similar position that we had there. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time getting this absolutely perfect, because I don't think it needs to be perfect. What it does just needs to show you really how that the animation works. Here we are. Okay, so that's cool about there. And I'm just going to highlight the side, hold down shift, up arrow. There you go, and that brings that shape forward. We're going to be doing a lot of that. We'll be animating with the shape layer order. Okay, so I think that's more or less where I want to start. So now I'm going to set up the smart bone. So click on the folder, right click, convert to bone. Then we go over to the add bone tool, add a bone in. While we're still there, bone, and make smart bone dial. Give it a name, box turn, call it whatever you like. And I like to change my frame duration to 120 because that is exactly 5 frames at 24 frames per second. So 5 seconds at 24 frames per second is 120. Then I don't have to remember, am I at 100 frames? Am I 100 wherever? It's exactly there. The line's already there for me. And quite honestly, I don't know why that's not the default. Anyhow, right, let's get on with this. All right, I've created the bone. It automatically took me to the first action, box turn. So I'm already there at 2, at the 120 mark. Now go to the box layer and now just position it where I want. This is at the end of the animation, so I want to turn this, and this is where it can get a little bit confusing if you're not keeping an eye on what's going on. And this is why I use the different colors on the layers. This is why I use the different colors on the layers. Now just gonna move those to the side. They're moving backwards in space, so I'm gonna move that there. I'm gonna bring that one, just highlight both of those 2 corners of that side of the shape, and I'm going to put that there. Then I'm going to take these 2 corners of these 2 shapes there, and I'm going to pull that there. Okay, so remember this is coming there. That will be a bit smaller. I want the top to be visible. Actually, I'm going to do that. And move that corner there. And move that corner there. Now it's important that if you move the corners as they are, even though you can't see them, put them where they're supposed to be. Just make life so much less painful for you later. Now, here's something. When I'm doing smart bones, I like to have the interpolation here set to linear. And you'll notice in MOHO 14, I can highlight the bone and highlight the point, and it will select linear next time. But if I don't have it highlighted, it will go back to the default. So I'm going to switch that to linear. Something new, kind of helpful, a little bit annoying because I'm not used to it yet. I haven't had the MOHO 14 for very long, just like the rest of you. Right, so what we can see then is we can move that around. Okay, that's more or less where we want it. Looks pretty good. Except for in the middle, it gets all crushed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the middle, frame 60, makes it nice and easy to figure out where I want it. And now I'm just going to highlight those 2, bring that out. Going to highlight those 2 on that side of it, going to bring that out. That's going to be more or less there. We'll just see if that frame looks good. Okay, a little bit of a wobbly there, but I'm not really sure why. But I mean, this is just for a tutorial. You can make those tweaks for yourself. That's a little bit small. I think that's why. Make that a bit bigger. We may be getting confused. I may be getting confused because the handles are on there. That's not too bad. That'll good enough for the tutorial. You can tweak this as you go. There's no point watching me get frustrated while I'm tweaking it. Now, that looks good enough for a tutorial anyway. Oh, here we go. That's going to help. If I've actually changed the oh, I don't want that. Oh, I do want that. Undo is your friend. Right. I'm going to lift that up. I'm going to lift that up. How's that? Right. All right, there we go. Let's take that down. I'm going to take that up. Here we go. I said I wasn't going to do that, but I just did it. Right. There you go. That's better. You get the guy. You're going to get the idea. Now, we've got a problem here with the layers. The layers now change. We're fine. We look good there at the default. But right about here, the layer gets screwed up. Okay, so we have a problem here that we have these two shapes. That is what is now the far side or the back, which was at one point the right of the cube. We've got this, which is the bottom of the cube, but we want now this side here, which was the back of the cube. So that shape is right at the very back. Now we need to animate the shape so that the back now comes to the forefront. What we do is we go to the box layer, double click on that, or right click properties, go to the vector layer. So go to the vectors tab, click on animate shape order, hit OK. Now that will allow us now to animate the shape order. So I'm going to click on that shape. I'm going to hold down Shift key, down arrow. That brings the back forward there. Hit on the shape on the bottom there. I'm going to click on Shift, down arrow, and that brings everything up. Now what you'll see, this is kind of handy here, MOHO 14. This looks a little bit different in earlier versions of MOHO, but what we've got is we've got the shape layer here, right? But we don't want that there. We want to get this about there, and then we're going to move that over. Here we go. I'll just highlight that, and then we can see the move. Here we go. It looks good, right? Done. That layer is done. Now, what we're going to do now is get it to move a different way. So I'm going to go box turn 2. And we are just going to do the same thing, but the other direction. Right, let's fast forward that then. Okay, that was fast. I'm sweating. I was working so quickly there. Now we have the same issue with the shapes, so we just do exactly the same thing that we did with the last action there. The last side of the bone turn is select shape tool, highlight the shape you want. In this particular case, I want to bring this to the forefront, right to the very front. Shift up arrow, those two shapes at the back. I'm going to go Shift down arrow, and then Shift down arrow, if I can hit it properly. Actually, no, I don't. I screwed up. Ha ha ha. I want to get rid of the side, and I want to push that backwards. Click on the right side would help, wouldn't it? There we go. And now we have it. So what we've got here then is great, and we've got the same issue there, so we've got to figure out where we want the changeover to happen. And we can see where it works. A little bit of a pop there. Hit the main line, then we can test it. How does it look? Okay, right, here we go. This is something worth mentioning. This gave me so many headaches while I was creating this the first time, is if you stay on frame 0, it doesn't animate the layers for you. So get on any other frame that is not 0, and then the layer animation will work. There we go. Now that actually looks pretty good. For the animation style that I chose to do, which is more of a kind of a didn't want a perfect cube in my original animation. I wanted it kind of looking a bit rough, and that's kind of what I got. I did it quick, did it easy, and there it is. Well, that's it. That's all there is to it. That's how you create a 3D box using one vector layer and one bone. So, as promised, a 3D box, one vector, one bone. Couldn't be easier. Now, in an upcoming video, I'll show you how I animated those in the alley sequence using the follow path function. But we'll leave it at one tutorial per video. I think it's easier that way, isn't it? Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, give it a like and maybe a share. Leave a comment, let me know. So if you are, and I suspect you are, interested in learning animation or improving your animation skills, you'll do a lot worse than subscribe to I'm Alive Animation. And don't forget, if you can imagine it, you can bring it to life.